James Palmer, NFL Network, talked about Amari Cooper, Deshaun Watson, what could be this season.
Well, chemistry between those two, Andrew, is extremely important because Deshaun Watson said it. Everything in this offense is going to be different. The play calling is going to be different, and it's mainly because of his skill set. He said there really has never been a Cleveland Browns quarterback that plays the position like him. Kevin Stefanski has never had a quarterback that plays the position like him. That's why these throwing sessions that he's running down in Houston that started all the way back in February, and almost every receiver has been down there. Some of them have been there for the duration of the throwing session, some of them for a week at a time and then come back. But that chemistry is important because of the way Deshaun plays the position. One guy that hasn't been able to throw with him is Amari Cooper because he suffered a core injury during the season, played through it really during most of the time he was catching passes from Deshaun Watson, ended up going and getting surgery from Dr. Myers in Philadelphia, really the best in the game at it, about 8 weeks ago. And he knows with the way Deshaun creates and scrambles and extends plays, he needs that added time in the coming weeks as he continues to get healthier to throw and work with Deshaun Watson.
And that's what's going to be interesting to see is how this receiving core develops that chemistry with Watson.
Yeah, especially when he starts to get out the pocket and do the things that we know he can do, right? Like, that's one of those things I think caught him off guard because none of the quarterbacks that have been in Cleveland have been improvised type dudes, especially in the way that Deshaun Watson is. And also, it takes time for you to get used to the fact that, like, the play ain't dead when it looks dead. You know what I mean? Like, that's a different thing to get used to because when Jacoby Brissett looks dead to rights, he's tackled. When Deshaun Watson looks dead to right, we've seen it multiple times this year where he wasn't even playing at his best, where he just got out of a sack that was just straight up impossible, it looked like, to get out of. Right? Like, how many times you go, he's still up? Like, during the year. And imagine running routes and you see two dudes converge on your quarterback. You usually, all right, man, I'm done. Like, let me power down, get back to the huddle so we don't waste much time, get the play call in. And all of a sudden you see Deshaun running. Oh, now you gotta do the scramble drill, right? It's gonna take time to get used to. Oh no, Deshaun can get us this thing at any time. That was one of the things that the Chiefs got used to with Patrick Mahomes. Was like, hey, it ain't dead ever, right? And now they're at that point to where it's like they're playing orchestra on the fly. But yeah, that's gonna take a while to get used to. But also, I think a lot of chemistry when it comes to wide receivers. And this is where the Baker Mayfield-Odell experiment has just tattooed this in my brain. You either got it or you don't, right? Like, especially amongst veteran players. Either you got it or you don't, right? And we saw that him and Amari Cooper had a decent amount of chemistry last year. We saw it with David Njoku. We saw it with Donovan Peoples-Jones. That wasn't where we were worried about Deshaun. It was more or less kind of just like the funkiness of the operation of the play itself. So all that being said, I think the chemistry's there. If it's there, then they're going to be fine. And I think there's been solid evidence that it is there.